I'm your host, Donna Cates, and each week we'll dive into powerful stories, expert strategies, and practical tools to help you take charge of your financial future. Whether you're planning for retirement, navigating a divorce, or simply looking to build your wealth with confidence, this is your space to grow, learn, and thrive. Let's get started with today's podcast. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited today to introduce you to Leah Davis, who owns Leah Davis Coaching. And that's one of the unique things that we have to talk about today. So I'm not going to steal your thunder, Leah. I would love for you to give us a 90-second overview of what you do and why you got into it.
Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction, Donna. Yes, I am the founder of Leah Davis Coaching. I founded my coaching business after I discovered that being a financial advisor was not fulfilling my purpose. And I knew that there was more that I could do to provide support for my women that I serve, which is all women of color, Black, Latina, Indigenous, Asian, all women of color, blend of brown. I'm from the Bay Area, so grew up in a melting pot of all races and ethnicities, and I identify as a Black Latina. And so, as a coach, as a wealth and wellness coach through my business, what I do for women is really address one of the main things that I've come across, even for myself, which is financial anxiety and how that shows up, where it comes from, and how it is impacting a woman's ability to make financial decisions or not be making them. So, as a coach for women, I work with them on figuring out together what it is that is activating them with money when it comes to the relationship with money, when those fight, flight, freeze responses come up, how to create a safety plan to work through that as they're going through their financial goals and working on their financial dreams, and getting really clear on that with my clients on what they want to accomplish. And then what we do together is come up with plans to address some habits and behaviors that'll work for them. I go ahead and I work with my clients, and they take the lead on what's going to work for them. I'm there clearly just as a support and guide and accountability partner. And together we create these plans so they can reach their goals, save more money, buy that house they've been wanting to buy, change their spending habits, and we just go from there.
That sounds so perfect, and we'd make great partners. So that you literally just said so many things that I can relate to because of the women that I work with as well. I work predominantly with women in transition. That's going to be women who are divorcing, changing jobs, or maybe newly widowed, and the fight or flight kind of deer in the headlights. Oh my gosh, this was just way too much, and kind of freezing and not taking action at all. That's been very, very common. So having someone with your expertise I mean, having that coaching expertise in addition to the financial advisory experience, that's a gold mine. That's really big. So congratulations.
Thank you. I know that I'm a unicorn out there. There's
You
not a lot
are
of
you
there's not
well,
there's not a lot of me running around.
and I want to full candor here too. I know on your intake form you had indicated that people oftentimes, and these are my words, not yours, are oftentimes misusing the word coach, and how a lot of us will just assume that word without really having those coaching credentials. So, can you talk to us just a little bit about your financial fitness coaching?
Yes, it is a holistic approach in supporting my clients. So the distinct differences, and for those who are listening, if you're wondering, well, I've worked with a coach, or I've thought about working for a coach. The difference is a coach will ask more questions and do more listening. And a coach will want to go on that journey with you and to dig a little bit deeper, what's motivating you, what's causing the behaviors, what your fears are. And a coach has been trained specifically on being able to create that container and that space so that our client feels completely comfortable, confident, and safe to have those conversations and show up in that brave space. Um, I've heard of other individuals in the profession who say, I'm a financial coach, but really they're a financial advisor, or really they're an investment advisor. And the key distinction is they're not going to have the ability to have those kind of conversations. They're not going to be asking those those deep, thoughtful questions, and also know how to handle and be able to respond in a way to recognize and know when a client is being activated, being able to support them through that process. An advisor or an investment advisor is really going to say, let me look at your accounts. Let me see what your financial foundation is. How, when do you want to retire? This is my advice. Here's what I say, would be a recommendation for you, and I have a plan for you. A coach who's been certified is not going to say, I have a plan for you. A coach is going to ask, what difference will this make in your life if you created a plan to save more money? And then ask more probing questions, and together come up with a plan for the client that is an action plan to reach those goals. So it's a lot different than being an advisor.
That you said that so well, and I'm over here just nodding my head, going, "Yep, that's absolutely right." So, and I think that's the thing is that you have when you're hiring professionals, it's really important to understand what it is that they can do for you and what can be better served with another type of professional. And I find that a lot, like with my divorcing clients, we have mental health professionals, the counselors, psychologists, and then we have divorce coaches or transformation coaches. Two different strategies, two different purposes, and I think finding the right person to work with is huge. So I appreciate that you're doing the work that you do. So tell me a little bit about what you see as the biggest problem in the industry right now, especially around the financial coaching, and what are you doing to solve that?
Oh, wow. I love that question. The biggest problem that I see, honestly, is the financial industry not having and providing enough recognition for the importance of financial coaching. And there is a disconnect, and there just really isn't a space for financial coaches that would be so valuable for clients. So when there's these large broker dealers, the Mass Mutuals, New York Life, type of companies that are out there, then there's the registered investment advisory firms, the RIAs, right, where they have investment advisors, or even a financial planner. Having a financial coach on the team would bring so much value and actually create more retention for your clients, because there's so many. And I was in the industry, right? I was a financial advisor, and I saw it. I just didn't understand why someone would come into the office, meet with me. I would create this plan, work with them, say, come back and bring me all this documentation, and they disappear, or they'd be hard to get. Well, because I wasn't addressing any type of money anxiety they might be having. I wasn't understanding their cultural things that may be coming up, the decisions they may need to make for their family. I mean, there's a lot of judgment and shame a person may feel, a lot of fear, overwhelm, and having to gather all this information and move forward, and then have conversations with the spouse and come back. I mean, it's a lot. It's an undertaking. And so having a financial coach and the recognition that financial coaching completely deserves, because I know a lot of financial coaches. I know the impact and value that we're bringing to our clients. And my goal as a financial coach, because I'm very aware of the importance of financial planning, my goal is to get my clients into the offices of a certified financial planner, or even work with an investment advisor if that's what they want, or working with a financial advisor if that's what they want. But I provide the education for my clients, and I'm that resource, and I'm giving them the ability to have that confidence and that courage to go into those offices and have those conversations. A lot of the shame, if at all, has been completely removed from my clients, because they've done the internal work. They recognize their behaviors. They've done a lot of things to work on them, and they're ready for that next step in creating that wealth and protecting their wealth. So that's what I see as the biggest problem in the industry. And one day that'll change. I mean, financial therapy, you mentioned, that is something that is growing as well. And I love that. And I definitely let my clients know I'm not a therapist by any means, but you may have a therapeutic experience. So to alleviate a lot of the stress, the shame, the guilt, a lot of those low energy, impactful frequencies that can hold a client back, if the industry would just give coaches a shot and really work with us more and create those opportunities, it would just be a beautiful thing for all the people that we're here to serve.
I'm going to tell you, I really feel a lot of synergy here. And I'm thinking, You and I need to set out to change the industry, and I'm willing to help you with that. I'm going to introduce you to some people because I agree with everything that you've said, and I'm going to share this recent personal experience. I haven't been doing a lot of in person workshops and seminars, but I did just recently do one, and it was specifically for taxes in retirement. So a lot of high level, information. But the people that were there, intelligent, they understood what we were talking about. It was just complex because
Mhm.
of how taxes really do impact almost everything while you're in retirement, from Social Security taxation to Medicare. But the point I wanted to share with you is that literally I've met with several people who have said, I know I need your help. I can afford your help, but I'm not ready to do anything. And I know it's because they have those unresolved issues, anxieties, fears, and stuff around money, but I'm not qualified to deal with that.
Mm.
So they're sitting there, and we call it they're in my pipeline because I'm still, communicating with them, offering, help and education and such. But I'm realizing, just hearing you speak, how much they probably would benefit from having a conversation with someone like you to get them in a position where they can work with someone like me.
Yes,
Wow.
absolutely. That's exact. It's so we're here as financial coaches to bridge that gap. And I get that as well. I have individuals that will come and they'll have a consultation with me, but they're still in that contemplative stage, right? And so at some point, somebody will experience enough pain that will push them forward, or it's going to be their vision that's pulling them forward. Either way, it's going to be that pain or that vision. And I'm here to really support my clients to get clear on what is that pain, how can we soothe that pain, how can you learn to comfort yourself through that pain so you can keep moving forward? Because once that happens, that vision starts getting pulling you stronger and stronger. And then there's that sense of relief and that, like, I can do this and this is what's possible for me. And then having the capacity to understand, like, okay, well, the next step for me is to, protect myself from, like what you're talking about with the taxes, right? Or I need to work on my estate plan, something like that. Then it's like, oh, I'm now really motivated and inspired to protect everything I've worked so hard for. And I really see that big picture, because part of me being as a coach as well is supporting my clients and being able to define what that desired outcome is. Like, that conversation, like you said, I know I need this, I have the money, right? Okay, so now dig a lot more deeper on what is that desire, and having them paint that picture so they can really grab onto that, and then that can be another factor for like moving things forward a lot quicker.
Wow, it sounds so empowering. I'm excited about that. Okay, also, talk to me about in the industry, because we know that folks like you are far and few between, especially qualified folks. So where do you see the industry going in the next 5 to 10 years, and what are you doing to stay on top of that?
Well, I am very much involved with Sage Financial Solutions. So, Sandra Davis is the founder and executive director of Sage Financial Solutions. And that's where I got my financial fitness coaching certification. She's got 20 plus years in financial planning. She's been a professor at Golden Gate University. She has impacted the lives, I think, about 2,500 coaches now through her certification program. So, supporting organizations like Sage Financial Solutions and partnering with them and really getting involved, as far as being, and introducing them to the community, and just building that network. And also what we're seeing now too through Sage, that when my partnership with Sage is that, she's also getting more like financial planners or other professionals that are learning, like, oh, I can get this certification and add it as a value to my practice. So financial planners are starting to get certified as financial coaches. Now they still are financial planners, but they're also able to have some of these conversations with clients. And then it may be easier for them to be like, okay, let me completely hand this off over to a financial coach. But they have a more knowledge and awareness. So then there's that synergy between a coach and a planner. If a planner's been certified as a coach as well, then they're able to understand and have those kind of similar conversations and engagement with the client. And there's not that gap, right? There's more of a smoother transition and conversations back and forth. So that's where I see the industry going, is, professionals getting certified or just completely working with the financial coach if that's not something they want to even touch at all. Because some people, let's be real, they're all about the numbers. And they're not about like the emotions and having the empathy and compassion and really bringing that forward to like, hey, look, this is what I'm good at. And that's great. We all have our skill sets, right? So it's just a matter of just getting more awareness out there, building those partnerships, and then doing what we can to reach the professionals who do want to get certified as a financial coach.
That's awesome. So that's one of the ways that I can contribute is just by sharing more information about you guys being there. And I am familiar with the Sage Financial Solutions, and that's because I'm looking for that skill set. But here's my reality. I don't have the I don't have the capacity time wise
Mm.
to take on any additional stuff right now. So for me, the answer is having someone like you to refer to and work with. That's but yeah, we need to get more folks like me involved in that for sure. Awesome. Well, that's really exciting. So let me shift gears here a little bit, and whether you share with me a personal experience or a professional experience, totally up to you. But what's been the biggest challenge that you've faced to this point in your life, and how has that shaped the way that you're doing business?
Oh, the biggest challenge that I have encountered with myself, and I see this as well with my clients, which is why I do the work that I do, is the effect of financial trauma that I experienced and trauma in my life, and how that can show up as I am working on a new endeavor or as I am building my business. So it can show up. And in the past, I didn't recognize it. I didn't know that I was responding in a way that was coming from fear and anxiety. And what that does is it creates a barrier to that flow of just the prosperity that we're striving for. Because it energetically, when we are coming from a place of fear and blocking, it just delays and prevents. And then what there's that saying, what we appreciate. So if I'm, really focused on the fearful thinking, like the rug's going to get pulled from under me at any time, because I grew up in a household that was I just didn't know what to expect and had to walk on eggshells, and then I experienced that in my adult life in several relationships. So I didn't
Mm,
know what to expect. So I would feel like a lot of times the rug was going to get pulled from under me, and I just constantly had to just be like, just prepared just in case for the worst to happen. But the thing is, the worst hasn't happened to me with my business. I've been in business since 2019. It's still expanding and growing, and I'm learning. And so the biggest challenge for me is just recognizing when it's showing up. It's gotten a lot easier over time because this is a lot of work that I do on myself. And then just knowing how to soothe myself. So for the women that I coach, a lot of times they just are walking around and not realizing that they're holding themselves back and their dreams back because of that anxiety. But once they're able to acknowledge, like notice it, become aware of it, acknowledge it, work through it, sit with it, honor it, and then that's where all the healing and transformational work
mm,
takes place. And so then we're able to open that flow and that floodgate of all the good that we're worthy and deserving of experiencing. And when that starts to happen, things just start to really pick up more and more. And then there's people that we meet, there's conversations that we have, like this one right here, completely
mhm,
unexpected. So glad you reached out to me. I'm loving it. And then and it's just that ripple effect. And it's not just for ourselves, it's for our families. I'm seeing
mm,
massive transformation within my family and with my loved ones on their journey as well, because we are energetic human beings. And so
mhm,
when our loved ones seeing that we're healing and that we're more grounded and that we're aiming for the stars and we're reaching them, it only inspires them even more. They can't help it, because naturally, as human beings, I know I'm attracted to individuals who I feel really good around. And I'm seeing them doing some things. I'm like, wow, and I just love being around this person. Same thing
mm.
goes for our family and our loved ones and our community. So when we start to heal, we just really bring that into our circle. And then it's just an amazing, amazing ripple effect that we can have in the world.
And it is so energizing. It's kind of what kept coming to my mind, Leah, is the glass is half empty versus the glass is half full. And however you perceive that, we're making it a reality. So that, yeah, just the gratitude and vocalizing gratitude, and I love what you said about what we appreciate appreciates. That's fabulous. I wrote that one down. Okay, so let me ask you another personal question. If you could have lunch with any person, living or deceased, who would it be and why?
That would have to be Wayne Dyer. And the
Oh.
reason is that he's one of those spiritual teachers that I don't even remember how I learned about him. It was just on my journey. So I got sober about 8 years ago, and I began my journey of just growing and wanting to learn more. And I became more willing and open. And somehow I stumbled across his work, and I started reading his books, and the things that he said, and about the power of intention, and the power of our thoughts, what we think about, right, it creates change in our lives. So just hearing and reading and listening to his PBS specials. I mean, I don't know if those of you are familiar or not with Wayne Dyer, but he passed on, I think, in 2015, and I got sober in 2016. So,
Mm.
and he was just the catalyst for me in my transformational work and healing journey. And the other thing is, it's interesting. This is very personal, but I love sharing it. So my father and I are not close. He's not in my life. He chose a religion over his family, and his name is Wayne Davis. And so at one point, I was like, Wayne Dyer. I was like, oh, WD, because I would refer to my dad as WD.
Mhm.
So I just was like, well, Wayne Dyer's like the father I never had. So
Oh,
I would love to sit down and, meet with him. I know he's passed on, but his energy is here, his spirit still lives on. And a lot of his teachings is infused in my work. And I just love it. So that's who I would love to meet with, if it was ever possible. He may be in the spiritual realm when I'm
right,
gone.
right, right. Yeah, he's hearing you now. I'm confident of that. So I think, yeah, that's very good, and I think it's kind of interesting that it was the WD in the connection with your father in a little bit of a way. That's really interesting too. Well, I love your perspective. I love your vulnerability, in your willingness to share with us, because that's how we learn and grow from one another. So thank you for being that person for us. So if people are interested in learning more about you, possibly working with you, where are they going to find information on you?
The best place where I am constantly just very active is LinkedIn. That's where we connected. So you can
That's
find me
right.
under Leah Davis. And then my credentials are FFC. So Frank Charlie. So if you look up Leah Davis, FFC, I will pop up. Follow me, connect with me, send me a message. I will respond. You can also check out my website at leahcoaching.com. But definitely do get in touch with me. I have some wonderful programming coming out in the next couple of weeks. It is the Radical Money Revolution. And I
Ooh.
am looking to be able to support women that want to stop spending emotionally. And so that will be coming up. I'll have a webinar in a few weeks. So connect with me on LinkedIn so you don't miss out.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Okay, just in case y'all didn't catch it, Radical Money Revolutions. We need to stay tuned for that. And I might be plugging into that myself as well. So thank you so much for being a guest today. I know that everybody's going to enjoy the program, and y'all don't forget to go search for her on the internet. Thank you. I hope today's conversation left you feeling inspired, informed, and ready to take the next step in your financial journey. Remember, building wealth isn't just about money, it's also about creating a life that aligns with your goals and values. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with the women in your life who deserve financial empowerment too. Until next time, stay confident, stay empowered, and keep building the life you desire.